only have a few of our group up here tonight, so it's not quite as bad as our winner's circle pictures. We won the Older Horse of the Year award earlier tonight, and everybody told me I did a wonderful job. So I'd just like to say ditto. Also, when I rented this tux, I looked in the pocket, and then there's this little packet of stuff in there, and it had 3 lines of writing on it. And the first one, the first line said desiccant. Guy over here doesn't know what that is. Excuse me, sir. Do you do the Bayer numbers for the daily ration form? Okay. Let me help you. The second line says silica gel. Still no clue. Okay. Well then, now I know what the third line was for. The third line said, do not eat. Okay. So now we know why that third line was on there. I was thinking, I know babies like to put stuff in their mouth, but babies don't know how to read, so it'd be ridiculous to put that on there for them. So now we know I knew that there was some segment, some sub-segment of the population that needed that on there, and now I know it's turf riders. Okay? Turf riders are great. I learn a lot about myself reading the articles about me. I read at least 3 articles that said I had a dry sense of humor. And so that's why I had to go with a desiccant joke. Turf riders really care about me. I can tell they care about me because they're always asking me how I feel. Perry, how does it feel? Let me do this again. Perry, how does it feel to win the Kentucky Derby? Wonderful. Perry, how does it feel to lose the Pennsylvania Derby? Terrible. Perry, how does it feel to win the Dubai World Cup? Wonderful. Perry, how does it feel to lose the Breeders' Cup Classic? Which one? You pick. Terrible. Does anybody see a pattern developing? All right. I'm going to turn, before I go too far, I actually have, since you said we had a lot of time, right? Turf riders, at least 3 articles I read recently said that Denise and I live in Yuba City, California. We haven't lived in Yuba City, California since September of 2014. We moved to the beautiful, picturesque town of Alpine, Wyoming. Every morning I get up, have a cup of coffee, look out my kitchen window, and the elk just look at me out our window, so it's a lovely place. But Yuba City is a special place. People ask me why we left Yuba City. Basically, the answer is because we could. Let me tell you about Yuba City. In 2014, Denise, me, my son Perry Jr., and my daughter Kelly, who's up here, we took the train to Churchill to the Kentucky Derby. People say, why did you take the train? What I do is failure analysis for the Air Force. I did a lot of crash investigation, and every night at the dinner table I'd tell the family stories about what goes wrong with planes. So for some reason my son won't fly. I don't know why that is, but so we took the train, and we were on the train. It's an interesting story. Somebody, one of our coworkers, texted us a message saying you have to go to this link. There's a story about you that the local news did. The local news, we lived in Yuba City at the time. The local news stations were in Sacramento, California. And a lot of people in Yuba City don't breed and own Kentucky Derby winners or favorites for the Kentucky Derby. I don't know why that is. But this was a unique thing. So they sent a camera crew out. We were on our way to the Derby on the train. And we watched this video, and here's a reporter standing in front of our house interviewing our neighbor. And the first thing I did was I looked at Denise and I said, I knew I should have mowed the lawn. I knew it. But the next thing I said was, you know, they don't seem to be able to separate us from mass murderers, because that's what they do for mass murderers when they send reporters to their house and they interview their neighbors. Well, people who have the favorites for the Kentucky Derby are treated the same way. So they rounded up our neighbor. She came out, and a reporter said, how does it feel to live next door to the owners of the favorite for the Kentucky Derby? And she said, the city of Yuba City Animal Control just cited me for having chickens in my backyard. If I can't have chickens in my backyard, why can these people have a horse? That's what I want to know. Okay. One of them went over, thank you. So Chrome never lived in our backyard. He was at Harris Farms the whole time. But that wasn't enough for the camera crew. They went on their phones, and they found a local hotspot was the Happy Viking bar. And they took the crew to the Happy Viking and interviewed everybody on the bar. Is that music for me to get off?
Hey, I'll just make it quick and tell you that I'm very grateful, and I've been around horses since I was 5 years old, and I'm 54, and I've never been around a horse like California Chrome. And this horse, I love this horse. This horse is some kind of horse. He's so smart, I think he could read. And he's just got it. I mean, this horse, he loves to run. He's what a racehorse is. And so I'm just so thankful for that horse and for Art Sherman and Alan Sherman, that whole team, what they've done. And I want to say something right here that I believe that we've really made a big move in horse racing to make it a lot better. You know, we talk about medication problems, all these things in the business, and there's a lot of problems. But the biggest problem is every time we get a great horse, he goes a stud, and he quits 2 or 3 years early. And that's the problem. And Frank Stronach and Belinda and Sheikh Mohammed, they put up their money, or our money. They put up their money, and and it's changed the whole dynamic of horse racing. You're going to see now, I hate to retire Chrome because he's doing better than he's ever done. And if he were to run and could win these big races this coming year, he'd make $15 million. And when he goes and breeds mares, he's going to make $6 million. And that's a great, great thing, because what's going to happen in the future is you're going to see these horses staying around. You're going to see them in training, and we're going to build our fan base better, and it's going to change the whole dynamics. And I just want to tell you, I'm so appreciative of Frank Stronach and his family for stepping up and making these things happen. I think everybody get up in this room and give him a standing ovation, because he's changed the horse business. Thank you all, and we're very appreciative, and let's have a great race. I hope it's a battle to the wire, and I hope it's just like the first Breeders' Cup Classic, and I hope it's the race I think it's going to be. We're going to have a great time, and I appreciate everything. Thank you all.